Another successful moon landing is in the books, but it wasn't the United States that staked its flag. Here to share more is Dr. Joe Carson, professor at College of Charleston's Department of Physics and Astronomy. Good to have you back.
Thank you. It's good to be here.
So this is a very exciting mission. Maybe you can share a little bit more about who landed on the moon.
Yeah, this was a really exciting milestone. So this was a mission, as you said, from India. It's a rover that's on the south pole of the moon, and it's the first ever landing that's occurred ever on the south pole of the moon. And it's a robotic mission, and the south pole of the moon is not trivial. It's rocky, so the original astronauts landed on the Sea of Tranquility. Sea is flat, that's why they landed there.
Yes.
And landing on a rocky terrain is not easy. So they successfully landed and deployed this rover. What's also nice is this is also actually the location where in 2025 NASA astronauts are going to be landing, which is a really nice example of scientific cooperation between countries.
It certainly is. So they land this rover so that they kind of feel it out, so that they can report back, let the astronauts know. And our astronauts from the United States, they're going to be launching their moon landing a ways from today.
Yeah, so the next landing, the next Artemis mission, if it goes on plans, is going to be 2025.
Okay.
And that will be the U.S.'s return to the moon, or at least return of astronauts to the moon after many decades.
Yeah.
And they're going to be landing in that South Pole spot. That's through a partnership with SpaceX that's delivering them there. There's a follow-up mission for the following year through a partnership with Blue Origin.
Oh, really?
With Jeff Bezos' company,
Oh,
Amazon, of course.
And then going a little bit farther to the east, China recently had a launch back in May, June, astronauts heading into space. So what is their plan for the future?
So this is part of China's effort to have a permanent presence in space, similar to the International Space Station. So they're planning to launch their own space station. And the astronauts that they launched, this was part of that technology demonstration, and showing those feasibility of being able to do that.
Sure, sure. Okay, going back to SpaceX and Blue Origin, so why are these two companies involved in these next launches with the United States?
This is there's been a general trend to involve private companies more and more in NASA. That's gone back through several presidents, actually. And it's sort of increased, every president's actually increased through that involving.
But we're seeing a lot of those launches just heading up beyond the stratosphere and then back down again.
Yeah.
So what is this going to lead to?
Well, so the Artemis mission is going there in 2025. So it's going on the SpaceX rocket, but that's the same rocket that just exploded last year. So before that mission can happen, they have to show that that rocket is really flawless, or as close as you can get to flawless. Sure. So there's that, and then there's Blue Origin. So both of those are being involved. And actually, in addition to that, in the upcoming year, there's two other private companies that are actually both deploying rovers on the moon. Oh. And they do have a lot of NASA dollars behind them. They have a NASA support, so they haven't, entirely sort of cut that, cut that umbilical cord. But they are private companies that will be landing there this next year, and it definitely shows that this is a new era of space exploration.
And is this to lead the layperson, the average citizen, to land on the moon at some point?
So the long-term goal is to have a permanent presence on the moon of both astronauts, as well as SpaceX, as well as robotic exploration. And part of that goal is to have laypersons, have citizens on the moon as well. That's part of their long-term goal. They have to see how that plays out.
I wonder if that's going to happen in our lifetime. That'll be exciting to watch.
I hope so.
Yes. Well, thank you so much, Dr. Carson. It's great to have you with us. We're back after this.